Okay, Jimmy Bellino is here. Jimmy Bellino, who everybody... did you realize that you would be the breakout star of Real Housewives of Orange County this season, and you're not even on it?
I think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. The breakout star. I don't believe any reality person is actually a star. They don't have a talent.
I've heard you say that. You don't think so? You don't even think Kim Kardashian at this point has a talent?
No. What is her talent? I think she's an amazing marketer. I think the family is incredible at monetizing the brand. So, yes, that's a talent. But does she sing? Does she act?
She was on American Horror Story for, I think, an episode or two. But but no, I wouldn't exactly call her an actress. I used to feel that way, but I don't know. I mean, reality TV is such a monster show. Like, it's so big now. I think it is a talent to stay on it and stay relevant.
I think staying relevant is very different than a talent. So that's a different subject. As far as staying relevant, yeah, I think you have to be
and being
authentic.
Compelling. Yeah, being compelling.
Yeah, you have to be authentic. Too many reality people try to act their way through a series, whether it's Real Housewives or anything. And I think what really the networks are looking for is authenticity. They want to see true shock and awe and drama and reaction to all of that.
Yeah. For people that don't know, which everybody I think knows you, but you and Alexis Bellino were married for a decade. You were on 4 seasons of Real Housewives of Orange County, and they have brought you back a lot, Jimmy. They like to talk about you a lot this season, and you're having this resurgence. So how does that feel?
They brought me back. I think it's kind of irrelevant, honestly. Alexis and I were married 13 years.
13?
Not a decade. We have 3 beautiful children, twin girls that are 16, and then a son that is 18. We were on the show 10 years ago. My philosophy regarding religion has really changed. I'm not at all religious.
Really?
No, I frankly have a problem with the local church.
Oh, no kidding.
I do. I think that relationship is very, very important, our relationship with God. And I think part of why I fall under this grace category with God is because, and maybe we call it karma grace, but because I really try to love everybody and take everybody at face value and not judge people.
Yeah.
And I've learned that through owning a restaurant in Palm Springs, being very, very involved with the gay community there, has really opened my mind to what unconditional love looks like and really what Jesus called us to do and be.
Wow, so that's really different. When did you kind of start? Do you go to church at all now?
Not really. No. I'll go. My kids go, so I go with them. I believe in God. I love God, but I also just have a different feeling about the local church. I believe there's a lot of temptation. My ideal
It's
church,
so hard, isn't it? Yeah.
If I was going to be a pastor, I think I would hire a bunch of millionaires that are pastors that have probably either been divorced or been through the temptations of women or the temptations of the love of money or all of those things, so that wouldn't be a temptation for them anymore. So I would run it like a business. I would be accountable for every dollar that the church brings in and really treat it like a business.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of is a business, isn't it? Most churches now.
It is a business.
I know.
and our goal.
I mean, I've been a long time Catholic. There's no better business than the Catholic Church.
Yeah, our goal should be to reach people. Our goal should be,
right?
Which is part of why, I think that kind of what I'm doing on Instagram is relevant, because people are hungry for information and knowledge and really everyday practical application, and that's what I think the church should be doing. And
they want you to practice what you preach. I mean, I think you're also having this resurgence because you're resonating with people. You're, like I said, I was so drawn to, obviously your name has been out there a lot this season. There's a lot we're going to talk about.
It's one name, Jim Bellino. It's not like, I don't know why that happens, but it all runs together, and that's what I get called.
I told you that yesterday when we were talking. I'm like, you are not a guy that you can just be Jimmy. It has to be Jimmy Bellino.
Yeah.
It's Jim Bellino. But no, you're very authentic on your Instagram, which is one of the reasons I really wanted to sit down with you. I was like, I love these Jim-isms that you're doing where you're giving advice. And the one that struck me so much was your advice to Ryan, because Ryan is going through it, Jennifer Pedantry's man. And we'll talk about this because, I mean, it's no secret. He's hired your lawyer who won your case.
Yes.
And, but you basically said, I want to give a message to Ryan and other people when the world is like against you or you feel like someone's wronged you, to forgive them. And that's like pretty hard to do. I mean, what you went through and now it appears what Ryan's going through.
Probably in my life, Tamra Judge was the hardest person to say, I forgive you, because the pain and suffering that I went through during that time, already getting divorced, was a very, very heavy time for me, because divorce is ugly and we don't like to fail. And that's one of the biggest failures of my life, is divorcing my wife of 13 years that I have 3 children with. So the last thing I needed at that time, which I've never spoken about, by the way, but the last thing I needed at that time was somebody attacking my character. So I'm very limited at what I can talk about regarding that. What I can talk about is, how it made me feel. And what Tamra has said about Ryan really brought up a lot of feelings for me that I really didn't realize I still had, anger and bitterness towards her. So really just going on and talking about that publicly has somewhat helped, but I don't believe it's really resolved in me, because I don't believe she cares. I don't believe it matters to her who she hurts. So
what about Shannon? Because famously this slander lawsuit was between the 3 of you. Do you feel like Shannon is remorseful for what was said about you?
Absolutely not.
Really? They never reached. I mean, I know you have lawyers involved and the case is settled, but they never reached out to you independent, like, Jimmy, all right, just weapons down. Like, I got caught up in the moment. I don't believe you're this type of person or business person or your trampoline park. They never came to you like.
No. That's all I can really say about it, but no.
Wow. How do you feel?
I can talk about remorse and my feeling about that. I think that if somebody truly realizes the hurt and damage they caused, that they should be remorseful. And Tamra's comments about Ryan, and these are just, again, don't shoot the messenger. She said it, not me, but I'm going to repeat what she said because she made a statement of fact, and that is Ryan was raided by the FBI. That's a statement of fact that is not true. That is actionable, which means that is slander and defamation. The second thing she said was that he took millions of dollars from a baseball player. At least this is the way that I heard it.
Which, by the way, she's apologized twice. She did go on her IG story and say, I apologize. This
not good enough.
She did screenshots on her Instagram story. You're not
good enough. And in my opinion, not sincere. The apologies were not sincere. They were because she had to.
You think she knows she's in deep shit. So now she's been served legal papers over false statements. She was a guest on Watch What Happens Live, Andy Cohen, and she issued an apology on her Instagram story. She said, quote, "You know what, Ryan? We sell more in a month than what you stole from the Dodger player," retorted Tamra on Watch What Happens Live, referring to Ryan's alleged connection to a gambling scandal. However, Tamra later took to her Instagram story with an apology while still in New York with her husband, Eddie. Did you guys watch Watch What Happens Live? It was good, said Tamra in the clip. I did misspeak on a couple of things. I didn't mean to say that Ryan stole the money. I meant Vina made more money, which is their company, than what was stolen from the Dodger player. But I didn't mean Ryan, so I apologize.
She 100% said they made more money than Ryan stole from the baseball player. I believe that's what she meant to say. Period. So that explanation doesn't even make sense, because the topic was Ryan, and Ryan came out of her mouth. So let's just be honest about it.
Okay, so Ryan is a friend.
How about if she just said, I'm sorry, I really shouldn't have said that. It was out of turn, instead of making an excuse for what she said.
Ryan has hired your lawyer, the lawyer that handled your case.
That's correct, Jeff Neary.
Jeff Neary, is that his name?
That's correct.
Okay, I'm assuming Jeff's a good lawyer. I mean, he won for you. You like Jeff?
Jeff's an amazing lawyer. Yes, and Jeff knows he's an expert on slander and defamation. Absolutely.
Okay, so Ryan has served her with papers. So do you believe Ryan and Jeff, they are going to sue her for slander?
The papers that were served, to my knowledge, are a cease and desist and a order for an apology. That's my understanding.
Okay, so that's not really a loss. Like, he's not going to sue her at this point. It's just, if we get these things, if you stop speaking my name and you do the apology I'm asking for, I will drop it.
Listen, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this, and nobody wants to sue anybody. I can promise you it's very emotionally draining. It's like a divorce. And what surprises me, knowing how much money and emotion Tamra went through, why she would put herself in this position of saying statements of fact like he was raided by the FBI and that he stole money from a baseball player. Those are actionable offenses. So the fact that Ryan is only requiring an apology, that says something about his character. I think that he realizes, and I've actually spoken with Ryan about this, that if you can get the apology, don't go through with the lawsuit just because it's draining.
Yeah, it was so much. How is Ryan doing?
He's great. He's just a very even guy, very chill. I think he handles himself very well in these situations, but he's not going to take any shit. So it's on right now.
Well, you said when this happened, one of the biggest things was everything in your personal life was affected. Your businesses were affected. Your case, when it happened with Shannon and Tamra, right? Like, tell us, how did that feel, right? Because you were accused of all these things on the show, not being an honest business person, problems with your trampoline park. So after that happened and aired on TV, like, what are the repercussions? Because I think to a lot of people watching, we hear these things, but we're like, oh, people don't care if it doesn't impact their lives, but there are real consequences to what people say. I mean, you're a testament to that.
Well, for the record, I was never accused of not being a good businessman on the show. All of this happened after we were off the show for 5 years. So none of that happened on the show. Again, I can't really speak to the lawsuit. People have to do their own research. What I can say is the effects it had on me, which is part of why I have compassion for Ryan and I have knowledge. So if I can help him from a reputation management standpoint, I absolutely want to do that. Part of why I'm sitting here today is really for Ryan and for Tamra. I mean, did you not learn? Maybe it's time you stop fucking talking about people. You've hurt a lot of people's lives. You've destroyed a lot of lives, and it's time. You know, I don't have any problem saying that. And the personal attacks, I'm not personally attacking you. I'm just telling you my opinion. I don't watch the show much, but I did watch that scene. I also watched her stumble out of the house. I don't know if you caught that, but as she was leaving the house, she clearly appeared to be intoxicated, tripped when she fell out behind the gate. So maybe alcohol and Tamra don't work. I don't know. Maybe you should look at that instead of pointing the finger at other people.
Okay, working through the emotions, though, that you've had, that this has brought up for you, when this did happen, going through the lawsuit, I mean, how did this impact your business?
Oh, it substantially impacted my business. I had to spend tens of thousands of dollars on reputation management just because of frivolous things that were said. I think we counted over 280,000 websites that this spidered to when it happened. And, for many years, when you Googled my name, those things came up. So I'm good now. Life is amazing. I think it's come full circle for me. I really tried to have a optimistic attitude during the whole thing, but it was very emotional. And again, I'm sitting here because that emotion has come back. You don't see me out doing interviews. For the record, I don't. If anybody out there that thinks I'm doing this for any monetary gain, Sarah does not pay very well.
Oh, thanks, Jimmy. That's a lot.
There's not even any wine here.
Yeah, I know you were supposed to bring the wine. You're like
so
the wine
I'm supposed
guy.
to bring the wine.
Yeah, you actually pay me, right?
Oh my gosh.
That should be it.
Typical women in my life. What is
we'll
it
talk
with
about
me?
that.
Oh,
I
here
know.
we go now.
I know. That's actually, that's amazing. You're getting a ton of credit. By the way, I hope you read some of the comments because you were on Kelly and Rick's show. They put a lot out in their Patreon, but they put out a nice clip of you. And
I didn't read the comments.
You didn't?
I didn't.
They were incredible. And a lot of people gave you a lot of credit for being a very honest man in the sense that, we know Alexis gets alimony from you. That's been a public story, and child support, and people were very impressed that you honor that obviously she lives a great lifestyle. You get a lot of nice credits for that.
I don't know how to respond to that. Is that a question? Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
It's a compliment. I mean, right? Because arguably before this, over the past year, before that, right? Mm-hmm. You were probably one of the most disliked house husbands in the Housewife franchise.
Wow. That's crazy.
Jimmy, right, Jimmy?
You know what? I really don't care. Honestly,
No, but, okay, but tell me that. But then I want to know, if you... what it feels like to come full circle. Because what I'm getting at is people now see a different Jimmy Bellino.
And I take that. I'm joking when I say I don't care, but I really think it's important for everybody out there. How did I get through all of that? Of being not liked. You have to like yourself. I think it's really important first, and to be able to have a complete interview like this platform or Rick and Kelly's platform. I think you really get to know somebody. When you're on a reality show, for example, it's funny, I was watching a clip on the way over here of Alexis with two of the housewives at Alexis's house. And there was an episode where Alexis was being really loud in a restaurant. It was kind of embarrassing me. And they taped us for 3 hours. And the only thing they got out of that whole taping was, Alexis, you're being a little bit loud. And that one statement made me a controlling husband. So I think everybody has seen this year, Alexis is a little bit loud, just a little bit. So, but she's an amazing mother. And, I have nothing but good things to say about her as being the mother of my children. Very, very blessed to have her as the mother of my children. She did a great job.
How does it feel to have a little bit of vindication, though, this past year, where people are certainly seeing a lot of true colors about Tamra and Shannon? You were pinned as this very uber Christian controlling traditional values guy, telling Alexis what to do. She had no say. I mean, that's how you were painted, but you are now, I'm loving this Jimmy B on, social media. You're giving relationship advice. You're, you've obviously done a lot of work on yourself. You've let go of some anger. So, does it feel good a little bit
it feels
for people
great
to see a different you?
No, you know what? I will speak to that. What feels really good is platforms like this so that I can be really understood and not misunderstood. I think that house husbands get a bad rap. That you don't get a complete scene. When people give me their opinion of somebody on reality TV, oh, well, he's this or he's that or he's shady. Do you know that person? Do you know where they went to college? Do you know anything about their childhood? Don't speak out of turn. Get to know somebody. So for me, it feels good for people to get to know me.
Yeah.
It really isn't about that they like me. I think that to just want to be liked isn't authentic. I want to be me. And if you like that, great. If you're, go to Jimmy B Palm Springs, by the way. I'm doing a lot of just kind of, what do you call them? 60-second.
Oh, your Instagram's amazing. You're
Thank
giving
you.
Advice on what men want, what women want, forgiveness. And it's great because you sit in your hot tub overlooking the ocean. It looks like a party house. I'm ready to come for a visit. And you just look like you're having a glass of wine, and it's like the most amazing thing. And you're like, let me tell you about what men want. I just think it's great. People are loving it.
Yeah, I'm pretty direct. It's really hard to get it out in 60 seconds what you want to communicate. But I really just kind of was
By the way, you can do 90 seconds. I need to do your social. I got to get you to do a video. Yeah, you can do a little longer.
I think
than
you can only do 60, maybe.
Oh, well, 60, yeah.
Yeah, on a reel, you can do 60, and on a post, you can do 90.
There you go.
Am I correct?
Yeah, so you can do a little longer if you want to do a...
I'm old, but not that old.
Okay, sorry, Jimmy. Sorry,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's for me, I'm just going to be led and speak my mind and speak the truth about kind of my philosophy in life. And if you like it, great. If you don't, you can go on the page and see kind of some banter back and forth. We have great, back and forth.
Yeah, no, you do. You got good. Yeah, I love your takes. Okay, you say great things about Alexis. Alexis is super in the spotlight right now. She's engaged to John Jansen.
I said Alexis is a great mother. Okay. So let's just preface it with that.
Okay. Awesome, Mom.
I did divorce her for a reason.
Okay. All right. Well, there's some good, there's some bad. She's engaged to John Jansen.
Yes.
So how do you like John? What's your interaction with Johnny J, baby?
Again, I get asked the question. This question I get asked all the time. How do you like John? I don't think anybody should have an opinion on whether they like somebody or not if they haven't spent any time with them. I'm a firm believer in going by your experiences with a person. So I don't know John to like him or not like him. Alexis did an appearance at Jimmy B's in Palm Springs. By the way, come see me at Jimmy B's in Palm Springs. And he was there. He was gracious. So I can't speak to how I like him.
Well, your kids are older. I mean, they are grown and young adults, but do they like him? Are you happy with what relationship they're starting to form with him?
I am. I think that John treats my kids great. Thank you, John. So as far as that goes, that's really should be my main concern. I have my own opinions about their dynamic and things that I've seen on TV, things that have been said. So I don't really have an opinion on Alexis. I do believe their relationship is authentic. Yeah, I truly believe they're in love. But beyond that, I can't speak to the dynamics of when they would get married, financially, economically, all of that stuff.
Do you think you'll be invited to the wedding?
I hope not.
Actually, I hope I don't receive an invite.
No, I do not. I will not be invited to the wedding.
Jimmy, we know you're rich. Are you concerned that John Jansen says he doesn't want a prenup? Are you going to try to get a prenup against John Jansen so he doesn't ask for some sort of support from you?
First of all, I'm not rich.
Oh, okay.
But I could retire tomorrow, but I don't think that's rich. I'm not really sure the question. I'm not going to ask John Jansen for a prenup.
John Jansen.
It's not even biblical.
John Jansen has famously said he doesn't want a prenup.
Okay.
A lot of people have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yeah, I watched the Watch What Happens Live when Andy asked Alexis about whether she would sign a prenup, and I think that was the wrong question. I think Andy should have asked John if he would sign a prenup.
So you think that Alexis has more money than John?
I don't know. Very secretive. What does John do?
I'm trying to get to the bottom of that too. What does John do?
I don't know. That could be a new
Can we ask
spin-off.
Your kids?
What does Johnny do?
We have your kids ask John. Hey, so guys, could we get you to?
Honestly, in all seriousness, though, if it was very vague what I did, I would want to share that because there shouldn't be a question of what anybody's motivation is. I hope that he's successful. I hope that I worry about Alexis, and I hope she protects her assets. I hope she makes him sign a prenup. I really do.
A lot of people believe online they will not get married, that Alexis and John will not get married as long as you are giving her any amount of money. Now, your kids are almost grown. I mean, you have one child that's 18, so child support is ending, but Alexis has a beautiful house that's publicly out there that you gave her. I mean, a lot of people feel like they will not get married until you stop supporting Alexis. Do you think there's truth to that?
I can't speak to that because there's legal reasons why I can't speak to that.
The other rumor that's out there is, do you think John really bought Alexis her engagement ring?
Why would I have reason to not think that? I don't. Is that a rumor out there?
Yeah, there's like tons of room.
Oh,
Yeah, there's like
I don't.
It's like a Reddit thread. Is there a thread? Because nobody knows what Johnny J does.
Yeah, I don't
So everyone's
care.
like, did Jim Bellino buy the ring? Like, who actually bought the ring? That's what people are. I don't know. We
If
don't
that
have
would
anything
stop
to do.
alimony, I would buy the ring.
We have nothing to do, so we speculate. Okay,
Yeah, no,
that's a rumor.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that.
So you don't want to be invited to the wedding, but you do think the relationship is sincere.
I do.
Why do you think there's ambiguity with John as to, does this man want to be on TV? Does he not? He seems like he's on Alexis's social media. Then he doesn't want to be on TV. He says he doesn't want fame. People think he's a fame whore. I mean, you watch the show here and there.
I'm just as confused as you are. If he was a fame whore, why isn't he filming? That doesn't make sense to me. And I was on for 4 years, so I didn't like filming either. So for me, I don't see it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that he's not filming. Now, I did watch some previous stuff with him with Shannon, so I have an opinion. I had an opinion about that. It really doesn't really make sense to me now that he would be called a fame whore when he's not filming. It doesn't make sense. Does it make sense to you?
No, I don't understand why he's not really filming either. Because they obviously talk a lot about
Maybe he doesn't
him.
like filming. So
Well, he's involved with a lawsuit with Shannon. Maybe he's just worried about. He doesn't want to say anything to jeopardize that. I mean, he's suing her for the facelift money.
I don't think that has anything to do with why he's not filming. John, why aren't you filming?
John, do you want to see? Look, what do you think? Do you think Alexis?
But I know why you're not filming if you're me, because it's a no-win. So you're very smart for not filming.
You wouldn't go back to reality TV?
I didn't say that.
Oh, all right.
If I had some say-so in editing, just for true editing, I think the Kardashians really do it right. I really like.
Well, yeah, because now we know nothing about their lives because they edit it, so it's all like.
I don't think that. I have a different take on that because.
You do?
Well, when at least in the height of their show, which I haven't watched for a few years, but what I did like was they exposed some of their, whether you call them weaknesses, character flaws, and then they brought it back to the end where it ended with a realization of that character flaw, and the family came together. So I really like that kind of TV where I would have no problem. I'm abrasive. It came from childhood. I have no problem admitting it, and it's something that I work on every day. So if I were doing a reality show, people don't like me because I'm abrasive sometimes. I'm very aware of that. So if I were on a show and I wouldn't just show me being abrasive, I would show the realization of, let's say I was married and my wife or my girlfriend said, "Hey, babe, you're being abrasive," and talking it through. So I just believe that for me, complete scenes are really important and not just picking
like a
people
snippet.
apart. It's
Yeah.
what I feel bad for the men for, is just they really don't get a fair shake.
Yeah.
It's a no-win.
Yeah, you guys sign up. I mean, and you're a pivotal part of the show and you don't get paid.
Correct.
Yeah. Has John reached out to you for any legal advice? Clearly, whether you wanted to be or not, you are a little bit of a legal expert in this reality space. I mean, he's suing Shannon for the money he says that he spent on her facelift. And I mean, it's been the entire season of RHOC. There's an alleged video. The video is allegedly of Shannon at John's house nearly running over his daughter, allegedly. That's never been released. But, Alexis, they've floated it out there that they have this tape. Do you think John has a case? Can you sue somebody if you give them the gift of a facelift? Can you sue them for that facelift back?
I watched Real Housewives of Orange County, as I told you before, in about 8 minutes. I fast forward through when they talk about me, which is completely irrelevant, and then they talk about, if Alexis is speaking, I want to make sure that anything regarding our kids or anything is not said that's out of line. But as far as the lawsuits, I did watch a little bit of that, and my opinion is that if Shannon agreed to settle, there must have been some sort of a contract. So I don't think she would have settled unless there was something in writing that he loaned her $75,000. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, right. We don't
maybe
know.
right or wrong. She also said that I believe that she spent a lot of money on him. So
that's what she said. Yeah.
There's just.
But I don't think they've had any settlement yet, right? I don't think there's
Not
been
to my
any.
knowledge.
No, I don't think there's been any resolution yet.
What I found disturbing for me personally, and I don't know if John's been through a lawsuit before, but if somebody offers you the amount of money that you're asking for, and all they want is for a non-disparagement, and you don't agree to that, I think that's pretty short-sighted on John's part. So. I don't agree. For the record, I don't agree with you not settling that case. And believe me, I am not a Shannon fan. I think everybody knows that. But non-disparagement is just really part of any normal settlement, and that doesn't mean somebody can go out and slander you after that. So that the non-disparagement isn't for life. It's just a non-disparagement regarding that issue.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
So I don't understand why he wouldn't have settled that.
Which, by the way, knock on wood, I've never been a part of a lawsuit, but I have ended a contract early with a company, and I feel like the non-disparaging is pretty standard.
It is.
Like that, Absolutely. I mean, it's like, it's not even lawsuits. It's like usually contracts ending. You know what I mean? It's usually, that's fairly common.
Yes.
So that is kind of a strange point that he's hung up on, it seems like.
It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
She gave him the full amount.
We're going to move on and talk about some other things about your life, because this is an opportunity as people are rediscovering Jimmy Bellino. But you said that you've watched the show a bit. You fast forward pretty much to the Alexis scenes. But, Shannon Beador, who has been getting a great edit this season. I mean, Alexis and John are the villains. And this is a woman who is in her 50s, 60s, has gotten a DUI, has 3 kids. I mean, could have killed somebody that night.
Correct.
We all thought going into this season we were going to see someone get demolished, who a lot of people felt should have been in some sort of rehab program, never stopped drinking after this. And do you feel like Shannon is are we seeing the real Shannon?
I think she's getting a pity edit. So, again, that's Bravo and their psychologists. Just, they can play on everybody's emotions how they want to. Show full scenes. And I don't know the full scenes. Alexis tells me that there's a lot of things left out regarding their interaction. So as far as whether Shannon's getting a fair edit or not, I think she's getting definitely a favorable edit, and people feel sorry for her.
Yeah. You are also friends with Gretchen and Slade.
Yes.
They huge fan favorites, gorgeous couple. They've had obviously a long marriage. They have a beautiful daughter. Why do you think we haven't seen them back? And Gretchen's she's been out and vocal about how she feels about Tamra and everything that's happening with Ryan. I mean, she literally started her post about Tamra Judge as like, how much time do you have?
There's a lot of people that harbor feelings against Tamra. I can speak to the Slade situation while you're looking that up.
Okay.
She called Slade a deadbeat dad. Slade, God rest his soul, lost his son recently. And, I just don't believe in attacking people's character. I don't believe in calling people shady. I don't believe in, Tamra said about Kelly Dodd, that Kelly Dodd, I think it was, had sex for money. That's what I believe Kelly told me. Something like that. That was an accusation. So I just don't believe in personally attacking people and their character and being paid for it. It makes me sick, and it needs to stop. So
would you like to see there was a whole discussion of a reality reckoning, which has kind of gone nowhere with Bethany Frankel, but the idea was like giving you guys as talent health insurance, access to therapists, unionizing. I mean, would you like to see that? Or do you feel like these shows are so toxic you'd like to see them off the air?
I think Bravo's a business. And
oh, yeah.
Listen, when Alexis and I got into this, I think it was, do you remember the years we were on? 2011 to like 14 or 15? We didn't know what we didn't know about reality TV back then.
Yeah, right.
So it's very different. 2011, We were just coming out of a recession. The Kardashians were really just the popular shows. So we have so much more knowledge today, and I'm a business owner. So I don't blame Bravo for the business. They're in business. And if you choose to go on those shows, then you know what you're signing up for. So as far as unionizing and insurance and therapy, I don't feel like it's the responsibility of the network to provide that. You're an independent contractor, and you can say no.
You can absolutely say no. Yeah. It sounds like what you want to see is like longer form scene. You want to see like more of a, I mean, they are just editing for drama. They're editing for, like you said, they're going to film you for 3 hours, and they're going to find that one moment where you look at Alexis like a little side eye, or she's, kind of just had it with the night and says something to you, and they're only going to use that. They're not going to put any of the context of you guys having a great time for 2.5 hours in.
Look, I mean, normal lives are boring.
I know they are.
You're not going to, I don't want to sit and watch Alexis and I or any of the other couples have dinner and talk about everyday talk. So they have a job to do. So they're doing their job. And frankly, this year, I believe that Alexis has been very, very instrumental in reviving Real Housewives of Orange County.
Oh, she has. By the way, you think she'll be back as a full-time cast member? You think she's coming back?
I haven't talked to her about it, but I think if you come back, you have to come back as a full cast member and get paid substantially. Having nothing to do with me paying you alimony. It's really in your best interest to not be a friend. It doesn't make sense financially. And if you're going to go in, go all in. I hope she doesn't, but if she does, she does.
Would you negotiate her contract?
I would.
How great would that phone call be if you called up the executives at Bravo? It's Jimmy B. I'm going to be negotiating.
They would not like that. But
would they be happy to hear from you, Jimmy?
I don't think.
You don't think they would?
I don't think I'm going to be on Andy's Christmas card list.
Really?
No, I don't.
Why? Did you and Andy have words? Why?
No, we haven't had words, but, I just don't take any shit. So I was one of the few guys on those shows that just doesn't, I don't kiss ass, and I just speak my mind. I tell it like it is. So
I actually am surprised they've never invited you. They've never reached out to you to be on Watch What Happens Live. Because, I wouldn't. Did anything major go down? A lot of people talk shit about Andy.
We have good feelings. I don't have any issue. I was kind of surprised actually too. I thought maybe.
Yeah.
I think they would just think I would absolutely say no to doing Watch What Happens Live. So.
And would you?
I don't know. Watch what happens. I don't know the answer to that.
Jimmy, you should be. Oh my God, we want more Jimmy takes. Okay, this is what Gretchen said. By the way, did this bring up any emotion for you, or how do you feel about her speaking out? She said, "I think it's sad that Tamra's been getting away with harming so many people for years now." Said Gretchen via @the_Housewives_Zone on Instagram. "I believe the only thing she has ever been loyal to is her paycheck. In my experience, she makes up horrible lies about people with no remorse of how it affects their actual lives. She will destroy your character, your livelihood, your businesses, under the guise of claiming she is just, quote, a truth teller." Gretchen continued, "Finally, it seems the audience realizes it's anything but the truth. It's gross and not okay."
I can tell you right now that everybody that she's harmed is speaking out about Tamra. There's a common thread among a lot of old cast members. And I think that what happened with Ryan really was just brought the house down for her. It really is a big problem for her because for some reason people were scared of Tamra.
Oh, really? Like, when you were filming with her?
Oh, so many people have said that.
But when you were filming with her, did you all feel that other cast members were? You filmed with Vicky. Like, did you feel like Vicky was afraid of her?
No, I think those were strategic relationships. And so, I think that with the action that I took, people realize it's okay not to be scared and you can protect yourself. And I have my own philosophy about Alexis and Tamra's relationship. Do I think they're truly friends? No. I think that's a relationship of convenience for the show. That's just my take on it.
Was that hard for you to take? I mean, knowing what you went through with your lawsuit, like to see Alexis and Tamra be friendly on the show?
That's a great question. If I was angry about every little thing that Alexis did, then I'd probably have an ulcer. I don't agree with her being friends with Tamra, especially after the devastation that was caused. But I don't harbor any bitterness. I really live my life at this point with no anger or bitterness, which is why I speak out when I realize I have unresolved issues. Again, go on Jimmy B. Palm Springs. You can hear me talk about that subject of bitterness. I think it has 100,000 views, that video.
Yeah, that was a really good one. It was really good.
Thanks.
How'd you get to this place of Zen? It's like Jimmy B. Zen. Do you go to therapy?
That's a great question. I've been to a lot of therapy.
Oh, yeah?
I went to therapy during that time, therapy for my divorce. I feel like I have a really good understanding now of what I want out of life as we get older. You know, it's just, life's too short to live in any kind of anxiety. I really try to manage my anxiety and have quality time. And, you know, dating and relationships, I've become very, very picky to a scary point. I really want to be with somebody that's healthy, emotionally and, you know, mentally, and that has their shit together. You know, that's really important to me.
Yeah. So do you have like a daily practice? Do you meditate? Do you just pray? Do you just, or like, you know, I mean, I've done a lot of therapy too. And I think for me, it's about slowing down. Because you're a business person, I'm a business person. My therapist always says, "Oh, you're a person that just wants to rush through all the emotions, get it over with, and like everything will be good."
Right.
But sometimes you got to like really feel like, to your point, like this Tamra thing is brought up unresolved. You know, we all have that moment, right, where we still have anger about something. But I'm very much a person like, okay, nothing you can do about it, just move on. But sometimes that's not helpful either. So I don't know, was there something that clicked with you in therapy, or is there something you do to...
I think the fact that you just acknowledge that about yourself, the self-realization is so important. And that's exactly what I do. I slow down and I feel. I let myself feel. So, you know, in feeling that bitterness, literally after I watched that show last Thursday night, for 3 days, I had a knot in my stomach. And it would not go away. And until I did the video speaking about the bitterness and really forgiving Tamra. I didn't forgive Tamra for Tamra's sake, because what happens if we have bitterness is we're creating that cancer inside of ourselves. We're creating that anxiety, why you can't sleep at night, why you don't eat right, why you drink too much. So you really have to get to the root of the problem within and deal with that within. And then that's really, to me, when you grow in life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, it's great. Isn't that like, don't you feel like life gets so much easier when you have that self-awareness? Like you said, how many people do you, I guarantee you know so many people at your level that mask various things that have happened in their lives with drugs, with alcohol, workaholics, like, right? Isn't it all about self-awareness and finding that balance? That's when life gets good.
You know, it's really crazy being single. I talked to a lot of married friends that are in unhappy marriages, and I tell them life's too short, and they're like, "But yeah, you don't understand how much I have to lose money-wise, so I'm just going to stay married," and they're miserable. And you know, there's a saying, why divorce is so expensive?
Why is that?
Because it's worth it.
Okay, right.
So I love my life.
Why divorce? Okay, got it.
It's just true. And life is, the clock is ticking, and we have to make the best of life. And it's funny, since I started these video series, I talked to so many people, and I just asked one simple question: what's creating depression and anxiety in your life? And then they'll tell you, and then you help.
But they don't want to do. They don't. They know the answer, but then they don't want to do the thing. To your point,
or they might not know the answer, and you help them through the answer, and then they don't change it. So you have to change behaviors. You have to also have the realization inside to really find peace and happiness to be able to, affect other people.
You brought it up. So what's your deal? Are you dating? Are you single? What are you like? Who's your dream? Would you get remarried?
I get asked that question.
I think a lot of us want to know because I would like $19,000 a month in child support. Just saying. I told my husband on the way here, I might have to leave you for Jimmy, but anyway.
It's 16 now, but that other money goes to my son's college because I pay for 100% of his college.
Okay, well.
So I love love. I really love being in a relationship. I think I'm a relationship guy, but I also am not going to be frivolous in that decision. So I love having a nurturing woman. I like a woman that's, kind of aggressive in her pursuit of me. That's fun. So we'll see. I'm single, and it's to be determined.
So single, and all right. No, you haven't been dating anybody seriously.
I've been dating, but not seriously. For me, I think that at least for me, I've jumped in the relationship too fast, and so for me, I think you don't see the true colors of a person for first 3 to 6 months. So you really have to force yourself not to become boyfriend and girlfriend during that time, and then you can really get to know that person to make sure that you're compatible. And it's funny when I date, women are like, well, what do you want in a woman? I'm like, if I tell you what I want, then you'll try to be that. So I'd rather just me be organic and they be organic, and then we see where it goes from there.
Have you had any former housewives slide in your DMs?
Thankfully, no.
Like, wouldn't it come full circle if like Shannon Beador tried to get in your pants? Like, that'd be really
Can
nice.
You please never...
Don't put it out there.
I'm looking for a bucket right now. Oh, my God.
Bethany Frankel. What about Bethany Frankel?
Not my type. I don't go for women that want to be the man in a relationship.
Vicky Gunvalson never saw you out at the Quiet Woman and was like, Jimmy.
You got to stop. I can't even respond to these. Didn't you know Shannon owns the Quiet Woman, by the way?
Shannon does? Stop. No. But wait, I was going to ask you.
That was on an episode, actually. Remember? Does
it chap your ass, though? I mean, you're a business owner in Orange County. Who owns the goddamn Quiet Woman? They get more free press. Does that really drive you bananas?
No, I'm not a hater. I've known Lynn for a long time, the owner of the Quiet Woman. I've been going there Alexis has actually been going there. She wasn't lying for like a quarter of a century. So I'm done talking about other people's restaurants. Can we talk about my restaurants, please?
Okay, let's move on. Yeah, let's move on. Okay, so you all right, we should have started the interview this way, but I do think, like, to give people a refresh, you grew up, like, tell us a little bit more about your life. You grew up in California. You were born in Long Beach, right?
Born in Long Beach, grew up in Orange County, kind of moved all over the place, was homeless as a kid for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, we were very, very poor, which is, I think, why I kind of did the opposite. I learned through therapy why I had to own several homes was because of dealing with homeless issues. So we're past that point now, and I have 2 homes.
Yeah.
I'm proud to say.
That's big in therapy. Isn't that big in therapy? That's like big in therapy.
Oh, I mean, it was a big realization, realizing that I was masking all of this failure as a child and acting out and make really impractical decisions. I mean, I always made good investments real estate-wise. It's where I made a lot of money, but really for the wrong reasons.
Are your parents still alive?
No, they're not.
Did they get to live to see your success?
Yeah, I think so.
Did they like it? Did that like mean anything to them, or didn't? Or some parents it doesn't.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
It did. I've just worked hard, and again, I think there's some formulas in business. We were talking off air about the restaurant business, and if I think it's a hard business,
Yeah, what do you think?
Well, I have my theory on business. The restaurant business is very, very fun. I think the formula for a successful restaurant is a great location, amazing food, a great staff, and to be entertaining and have a vibe. Yeah. And I don't know any restaurants like that other than, well, a couple, but Jimmy B's and Sol Agave, the 2 restaurants that I have, I I make those very important. People say you're such a great restaurateur, and I'm really not. I'm a really, really picky foodie, and I'm really all about vibe. So
yeah, tell people exactly, because obviously a lot of Housewife fans listen to this episode and new ones will. Where can people go to Jimmy B's? Where is it? Solagave, where is it? Like, do I need a res to Solagave?
You can DM me, but Jimmy B's is in Palm Springs.
Okay,
It's a crazy fun vibe. I started that a year ago. We've really been open completely since February. It's right downtown Palm Springs. We have live music on the weekends. I actually sing with my singer. We talk a lot of shit.
I love that you sing.
Yeah, I can bust a note a little bit. I would give myself a 7. I'm definitely not a 10, but I'm not
What's
a 5.
your favorite song to sing?
I like a lot of ballads. I sing Frank Sinatra. I sing a little Lionel Richie, a little Neil Diamond, a lot of old school ballads.
What's like a song that gets the crowd going? What's like a Neil Diamond? What do you like? What are we opening with here at Jimmy B's?
You know the song Valerie?
Yeah.
Okay, we sing that, but we use Jimmy B's instead of Valerie. And so we get the crowd going. And we talk a lot of shit at the restaurant. I get on the mic and
my type of place.
It's kind of like a comedy show, really. It's really, really fun. Our food is insane. I'm there during the season all the time. Or you can find me at Solagave in San Clemente. I'm there pretty much every night from 6 to 8. And same thing. It's all both of my restaurants are scratch kitchens. So everything's fresh.
I love that. That's like the best.
Yeah, farm to table.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Oh,
so,
okay. You are good. That's good. That's good high end. Yeah.
And Solagave is a Mexican-American fusion. So we do anything from really, really good Chilean sea bass with kind of a light mole to fresh carnitas.
Yum.
Steak, filet mignon prime, family style with chorizo mashed potatoes. So it's really kind of a fusion of really
So
high end food for really good prices.
What's your favorite business to be in? Because you're in cars, been in real estate.
Yeah, I have a car dealership called the Auto Vault, which is in San Juan Capistrano. And
okay. And what's the deal? Can we do you find people like antique cars or specialty cars or?
Here's the deal. The deal is I have an affinity and an addiction to cars. So I have about 60 cars in inventory, and it's just kind of my way to have my collection and subsidize my addiction. But it's like it's a cool man cave. Come on down and see it because it's like every man's dream. It has 24 reclining chairs with 485-inch TVs, pool table, poker table, kind of ping pong, everything going on, and amazing cars, anything from McLarens to 55 Bel Air wagons. And I kind of just do blue chip investments where I believe that they're a really good investment. So, I buy them and drive them for a little while. We sell them, and it's just kind of fun.
It looks that. Okay.
And it also has become an event center. We just recently did a birthday party for a 17-year-old where he had 50 of his friends there, and we pulled them into the vaults in a Rolls Royce, and he was the baller for the night, and
that was pretty
had
cool,
a big party. So it's kind of fun that way.
Okay.
I guess you said what's my favorite business? I love creating businesses. I love Jimmy B's came out amazing. I'll have to show you some videos.
Yeah.
But it used to be a Ruby's diner. So to take it from a Ruby's diner to a steakhouse at night and a really cool American restaurant during the day with bottomless mimosas and singing, we're busy. I mean, we had a wait last weekend and it was 112 outside. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you could do a whole business podcast, just hearing all your business advice. But this is your opportunity. Is there anything else that you have always wanted to clear up? Is there anything you want people to know about you? Or is there anything you want people to know maybe about Real Housewives of Orange County that you feel is not out there?
I think we covered it. I mean,
we did. We covered a lot.
We covered a lot. We'll see where God takes me with, any kind of speaking or podcasts. I'm going to continue on with just trying to help people through life. I think my calling really at this point in life is to mentor younger people. I really enjoy kind of the overview therapy, whether it's business advice or, emotional advice, because people are hurting.
Yeah.
And our country is in a weird state right now, and we're really in a state of limbo until this election. So I think our economy is really kind of masked into what it really is. It's not a good economy.
No,
in my
it's
opinion.
shit. Like it's being propped up, and it's until we get there. Yeah, it's not great. People are losing that. Like tons of people are losing their jobs, and it's very. I mean, I'm sure you have friends now that are looking for corporate jobs. Maybe a couple 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it took like maybe 4 months to get a job. I mean, I know people now been unemployed a year trying to get into corporate. It's very tough. It's very tough out there. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
And in the state of California, it's harder. I mean, we're paying 15% state income tax now. People are leaving. So,
California, isn't this the greatest state? But like, I mean, it is the mecca to live, but the cost and the expectation of what our government here wants, I don't even know what they think. Because who's going to live here in 10 years? How do they expect young people to come, start a career, start a business? Like,
well,
who are you?
I feel
Or did they
bad.
not want? I don't know. Maybe they just want rich people to live here. I'm not sure.
I feel
Can't
bad for
figure it
my
out.
kids. I mean, I don't see how my kids can raise families here unless I help them. But a lot of things have to change in our government, but that's not for somebody else to tackle. I
don't know, Jimmy. That might be our next podcast.
At one point, I thought about running for mayor of Palm Springs.
You
and
should
and then I just said no. I have to say no to a lot of business opportunities because for me, quality of life and time are so precious. And how much money do you need?
Yeah. Why don't you test us? Because $16,000 a month sounds like a good start. We're all ready.
I'd like to make that go away. Do you have any tips?
No, none.
See how
John, please be good at business.
See how I spun that?
Please come through, John. Please be everything you say you are. That's what we're praying for.
Oh my.
Jimmy, you are such a treat. Are you going to be watching the reunion of RHOC? You might have to come back. I kind of want your hot takes because I sort of want the Jimmy B unfiltered Real Housewives of Orange County.
You will get me
reunion
unfiltered,
takes.
and I will give you my takes. Yes, I will definitely watch the reunion. I think that there's going to be some things talked about regarding. I'm curious how Tamra handles the Ryan situation. I predict she will address that. I hope she will apologize to him. I don't know why, but that's very personal to me.
Yeah.
What she did, and we'll have to wait and see.
We will. When you were on, who were the house husbands back then? Were you on with Slade?
I don't think I ever filmed with Slade.
Okay.
Did I? Yeah, maybe one year. Terry DeBro, Slade.
Dawn, was Dawn still on the scene?
I think Dawn was gone.
Was Brooks on the scene?
Brooks, yes.
Did Brooks ever come to you with a business idea? Like, hey man, I've got this great cancer cure.
Holy shit. Can somebody explain to me what's going on with that? I mean, I liked the guy.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah, we were friends. And I was disappointed like everybody else. Like,
okay,
the actual fuck? Tell me.
We're all like, I mean, do you even see Brooks to this day?
No, he does follow me on Instagram. I ran into him in random places. I don't even want to ask about that situation. And frankly, don't really want to talk about it or want to know because my mind just takes me places I don't want to go.
Wait, did he ever say to you like, hey, I do have cancer? Like, did you think he had cancer?
Yes, he said to me he had cancer. Yes.
Did you ever hear from him after? Like, hey, I got caught. You know, people get caught up in lies. I'm not justifying anything Brooks did, but I'm saying like
I did
people
run into him after and never got an explanation.
Did you say to him, hey, like, I'm your friend. You told me you had cancer.
I kind of have a theory on butting into people's business. And unless you want to tell me, for example, let's say you're going through something in your marriage.
I'd tell you. Right.
But I'm not gonna interject myself in that situation with Brooks because it's just it's not going to go well. It's frankly none of my business.
Well, that's also very male. Like men are good at that. Like women, this is why Tamra's in trouble. This is like why women, we like meddle.
That's why there's not Real House Husbands of Orange County, because
right. You guys would just like be like, "Oh, bro, you lied about having cancer. I don't want to ask." Like I'd be like, "Excuse me."
Every episode would be 5 minutes.
Exactly.
We just knock shit out really fast.
Exactly. That like doesn't happen for women. We'd be like, "You lied about cancer."
Oh gosh.
How do you think he's? Do you ever? I mean, is he remarried? Is he doing anything?
I think he's remarried. Yeah.
Wow.
But I don't choose to.
Jimmy, you gotta get. Come on, man. You gotta get in there, honey, and find out.
Where do you want me to go? What do you need to know?
Brooks, you know what? You came up today on a podcast.
That's crazy.
What's going on? I never asked you about that lying about cancer. Could you fill me in now? Come on, Jimmy.
Absolutely not.
Jimmy B. Palm Springs on Instagram. You are a treat. You are a new
Thank
friend.
You. You're amazing.
Truly honored. Oh my God, we have fun conversations.
Yeah,
and
we had a blast.
I'm glad you could speak your truth, and hopefully more to come. I don't know.
You never know.
I don't know. Where are you going next, Jimmy? What are you going to do next? Maybe a media company. Just saying.
Who knows? Maybe you can manage me.
All right. Do you listen well?
I do.
To women?
I listen to people that know what they're doing about something that I don't know much about. So.
Oh, God. All right. Jimmy B. We'll see you soon.
Peace.